I was 16 and in high school. When I finally got up enough courage to tell my parents, I mean, I think I was just shaking. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know if they would kick me out. I called my parents, and my mom was like, well, can you just tell me? And I'm like, no, you need to come home. It's important. I want to tell you in person, but I need you to come home now. She said to me, are you pregnant? And then I said yes. Absolutely, I was scared to death. And being a scared 16-year-old, I hid it for almost 6 months. The next day, we went to the doctor. They did an ultrasound because I was so far along. So the doctor came in and told us that there were some deformities in the brain. They told us that, you know, he likely wouldn't live through birth, and if he did, your son will be partially deaf and he will be blind and he won't walk, he won't talk, he won't feed himself, he will have seizures. I mean, we kind of went through this whole process of what his life would be like. I was gonna have Jake no matter what. My dad called my Uncle Jeff, Father Norbert.
I was asking everybody to pray for Jake. Pray for little Jake up in the womb. They were obviously very, very frightened about what was going to happen.
It was such a dark, dark time. And to be told that, you know, your child will likely die. And
Jake, when we first had the first ultrasound, the radiologist believed that there was facial deformity along with Jake's brain birth defects. Father Norbert, through a relationship he had, was able to introduce Jake while he was still in the womb to Pope John Paul.
The first thing that John Paul said was, it's a miracle she didn't have an abortion. And John Paul says, I'm going to celebrate Mass for Jacob and for his mother. And then he asked his secretary to bring him 2 rosaries. And he blessed the rosaries, and he said to Don Gustavo, I'm giving these rosaries. One is for the mother, and one is for Jacob. And Don Gustavo interpreted his old friend's gesture as saying, Jacob will live.
I'll never forget the feeling when he cried. I think it was really powerful to think that we had this horrible diagnosis, and after he had that blessed and sent to us, we now had a new diagnosis.
When Jacob was born and that beautiful face came forth from his mother's womb, what a consolation immediately.
It's almost impossible to describe to people how much joy having someone like Jake in your life can be. But shortly after we brought him home, his biological father left the picture.
I don't think I ever saw anything other than an incredible little kid and an amazing woman. It's this incredible gift that I've been given, the opportunity to play a role in both of their lives.
He came in, and you've been his dad ever since. Jake definitely brought us together, and I just think it's an incredible gift. If my parents had kicked me on the street, I don't know where I would be. They told me right off the bat, like, I want to be here to help you.
I don't think God ever became more real for us than when Jake was born.
Everybody's life changed that day.
Jake has totally transformed our family.
If faith is anything, it's about family. And so the saints all belong to that family. God knew that this was the right family to have this child being born into.
No matter what his physical body will be like on earth, he has a whole soul. His soul is whole. It's whole while it's here on earth, and it's going to be whole when he's in heaven.